What's going on, everybody? Jason Rubin here for TYT Sports Live from a phone booth in New York City. What? I know, you're thinking, what? How is this even possible? How are you shooting in a phone booth? It's the 21st century. The reality is we're shooting out of a really cool office space setting. They're called like WeWorks, and it's in New York. We have a couple set up, a couple of our people here from TYT who work here. So basically, I'm going to be setting up shop to record in this tiny little phone booth. But of course, there's more space to work out of. I'm about to go into a clip about the Klay Thompson trade rumors. Yeah, you heard that correctly. We're going to have some fun with this story because it part of me wants to explain how this becomes a story and why it shouldn't be, and the other part of me wants to go like, well, let's have some fun. What if Klay Thompson was on the trade block? What could you get for Klay Thompson? Obviously a lot, but a lot to go into that. So to give you a little quick recap, I was at UFC 205 in New York. I know Francis was talking about it today on a couple of the clips he talked with Robin Black. Please check out those clips. It was a terrific time, obviously, and I got to see the Garden go crazy for Conor McGregor and other UFC fighters, which I'm going to be honest, I've been going to Knicks games for years. I've never seen the Garden that loud. I've been to the NBA draft in the Garden. I've been to a lot of events, boxing fights in the Garden. Never have I seen it like that. So a truly special experience to be there. We have a couple clips up on the channel. We have a clip up on Facebook from the Dana White press conference. Check those out. On to Klay Thompson. So I'm going to be kind of half reading from my computer screen here and kind of half discussing what the hell is going on. So the headline from at least SB Nation is Klay Thompson trade rumors have begun and they make no sense. That's a fair headline because Sirius XM NBA Radio tweeted out today at 7:44 in the morning, quote, "I heard this weekend that Klay Thompson may be available. I heard that rumor going around involved with a team that wears green," which comes from Brian Scalabrine. That's who said it on Sirius XM's radio this morning. So I understand why that would cause mayhem on Twitter, and that's when it started to trend. I do believe the reality is that there is no way Klay Thompson gets traded this season. I think it's a different story when Steph Curry gets his contract expires at the end of this year and he gets a big deal, and maybe that's when you could really have that discussion. But this just seems like the Celtics are struggling to start the season. Isaiah Thomas was saying that they just don't look good. Al Horford is still transitioning in. And the Warriors don't look like the Warriors last year because, well, they're a different team with Kevin Durant and Zaza Pachulia and a depleted bench. So they're still figuring some things out. And it would make sense why this would become a huge trade rumor because, well, let's swap Klay Thompson to the Celtics for some depth and both teams get better. It seems simple. It's not even close to that. I have to reiterate this. I do not think Klay Thompson would get traded this season at all. Now that it's come up, though, and now that the internet's going to take over this rumor, even though the Warriors shot it down, the Celtics shot it down, Scalabrine even said himself, and I quote, and this is why people need to start reading more into this, because when you see the rumors, it's one thing, but when the quote from Scalabrine was, "By the way, it's not my rumor or my sources. It's just something I read over the week that I thought was interesting." Okay, LeBron James is on the trade block to make the Dallas Mavericks gain their championship momentum and win Dirk Nowitzki a second championship. Oh, and Dwayne Wade, Rondo, and Butler are all going to go to the Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. And wait, I'm not done. All of the Lakers' young talent is going to go to the Warriors for just Durant and Klay Thompson. Those two are going to go. So you see how, like, it depends on where Scalabrine was reading it. Of course, it's an interesting topic of discussion, so I understand that entirely. But I don't think it's true, obviously. I think the Warriors shot that down pretty quickly. Klay Thompson is struggling to find a shot this year. A big part of that reason is that, well, Zaza Pachulia is not as good at setting screens as Andrew Bogut is. And Andrew Bogut really was an important part of that offense, as you can see, because Klay Thompson has to work a little bit harder for his shots, and I think he will get adjusted to that, and I believe that Klay Thompson will find his form and get back to his scoring ways. Again, outside of Kevin Durant, who is always capable of going off for a monstrous amount of points, even though when I look at the Warriors and I look at the Thunder of old with KD, I always saw it from an angle of, well, this guy just secretly and silently scores 30 points in a night. He'll score 8 in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter, 8 in the third quarter, 9 in the fourth, and all of a sudden you have over 30 points. Klay Thompson's the guy that just goes off for 37 in one quarter. He's the guy that goes off for 20 in the second quarter of games. So he's the explosive-like player. He's the one that I'd still peg to this day If you had to give me one player to break Kobe Bryant or be the next, obviously, Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point record is probably safe. Klay Thompson's the one I'd bet on for a guy who can get to 80 in a game or 70 in a game because we've seen him explode for 37 and a quarter, and it takes a quarter like that on top of a great shooting game. That's all beside the point. I just wanted to shoot down a little bit of the Klay Thompson rumors, give you a little update from New York. Apologize for the slightly orange quality. Behind me is New York City, by the way. A little building back there. I'd pick up the computer, but then it would shake everything up anyway. I don't have anything else for you guys, at least today, on the NBA front, but that's the Klay Thompson rumors. In the comment section below, I'll be discussing with you guys down there, what could you get for a Klay Thompson? You know, if the Celtics were to make that trade, who goes from wearing green to wearing Golden State Warriors colors, and who goes from wearing the blue and, I guess, yellow to wearing green? Again, Scalabrine, slightly biased, also won a championship with the greatest press conference ever with the Celtics. So that was the news. That was the news I read today for the NBA. I think tomorrow we're going to do some fun clips with Francis over Skype, so you'll see me there. Obviously, follow me over on Twitter at JasonRubin91. Instagram is the same. Tweet at me, Instagram me, Snapchat me, doesn't matter. I'm in New York. If there's any fans that are in New York, you want to do a meetup, please just send it to me through Twitter, and I'm happy to come out, hang out, talk basketball. Obviously, I could talk basketball for days on end. So we'll see you there, and we'll see you next time.